The sky above Vera Prime was dark with smoke. Fire burned across the horizon, and the ground shook with the sound of heavy weapons. Aaron ran through the broken streets, holding his plasma blade in one hand and his battered shield in the other. His armor was cracked, his breathing was heavy, but his eyes stayed sharp. Around him, other human soldiers fought against the alien Krith. The Krith were tall and fast, their skin covered with black scales, and their sharp teeth glinted whenever they roared. Aaron's unit had been ordered to hold the city's last wall. If they failed, the Krith would take the human command post behind it. Aaron knew there was no chance of retreat. This was the final stand. He charged forward, meeting a Krith soldier head-on. The alien swung a long spear, but Aaron ducked under it and drove his blade into its chest. The Krith fell, but more took its place. The battle turned into chaos. The air was filled with shouts, explosions, and the metallic clash of weapons. Aaron moved from one enemy to the next, his muscles aching but his will unbroken. He saw friends fall beside him, but he had no time to stop. A heavy strike from a Krith hammer hit his shield, sending him stumbling back. Another alien rushed forward, and before Aaron could recover, the spear found its mark. It pierced through his armor and into his side. Pain spread through his body. He dropped his shield, falling to one knee. His vision blurred. The sounds of battle began to fade, replaced by the slow thump of his own heartbeat. He tried to rise, but his strength was gone. The Krith warrior raised its weapon for the final blow, but an arrow shot from somewhere struck the alien in the throat. It fell to the ground, lifeless. Through the smoke, a figure stepped into view. She moved silently, her steps light, her presence almost unreal. She was not human. Her skin was pale silver, and her eyes were bright yellow, glowing faintly in the dim light. Aaron knew who she was. Every soldier knew the stories. She was Nira, the alien assassin whose bite killed without mercy. Entire squads had fallen to her. She was said to be faster than any human and colder than any machine. Aaron tried to reach for his blade, but his arm refused to move. His breath grew shallow. He knew that if she wanted him dead, he would be gone within seconds. She knelt beside him, tilting her head as if studying his face. Her voice was quiet, almost gentle. "You fight with courage, human," she said. Aaron could barely hear her words. His vision was closing in. He felt her hand on his shoulder, firm and steady. Then her face came closer, and he saw the sharp, white teeth. He wanted to resist, but his body was too weak. Her mouth touched his neck, and he felt the sharp sting of her bite. At first, he thought it was the end. A burning heat spread from the bite, moving through his veins. His chest tightened, and then the heat grew stronger, pulsing through him like fire. His heart, which had slowed to a faint beat, began to pound harder. His lungs filled with air. The pain in his side eased, replaced by a strange strength. Nira pulled back, her eyes watching him carefully. "You will live," she said. "Do not waste it." Before he could speak, she stood and turned away. Her movements were quick and silent as she disappeared into the smoke. Aaron lay there, his mind spinning. His wound had closed, though his armor was still broken. He touched his neck, feeling the mark where she had bitten him. The stories had always said her bite killed instantly. Yet he was alive. More than alive. He felt stronger than before. Around him, the battle still raged. A group of human soldiers rushed past, calling for him to get to safety. Aaron rose slowly, surprised by how steady his legs felt. He picked up his blade, ready to fight again. Something had changed in him. He could not explain it, but he knew that whatever Nira had done was not meant for most humans. As the last of the Krith fell back, the human soldiers pushed forward. Aaron fought with renewed energy, striking down enemies with speed he had never known. His movements felt sharper, his reactions faster. Every time he blocked or attacked, it was as if his body knew exactly what to do without thinking. When the battle finally ended, The survivors gathered near the ruined wall. The air smelled of smoke and burned metal. The commander spoke to the soldiers, praising their defense, but Aaron's mind was elsewhere. He kept thinking about Nira, about her bright eyes and the heat that had filled his body after her bite. That night, as the camp settled into silence, Aaron sat alone by a dying fire. He replayed every moment in his head. The stories about her had been clear. Her bite was fatal. Yet she had chosen to save him. Why? Was it chance? Or did she have a reason? He looked down at the mark on his neck, now faint but still there. Whatever she had done, it had changed him. He made a quiet promise to himself. If she was still out there, he would find her. He needed to understand why she had spared him. More than that, he needed to know what her bite had truly done to him. Aaron's journey was far from over. The morning after the battle, WarriorPrime's sky was gray with drifting smoke. The streets were silent except for the sound of boots stepping over rubble. Aaron walked slowly through the ruins, his armor patched with rough repairs. His mind was still on the night before, when Nira's bite had brought him back from the edge of death. He could still feel the faint pulse in his neck where her teeth had pierced his skin. The human camp was busy. Engineers worked on damaged vehicles, and medics treated the wounded in makeshift tents. Aaron passed by soldiers who nodded at him, some with surprise. Many had seen him fall during the fight, and they had expected him not to return. The commander himself stopped him. "You were hit badly," the commander said. "The medics said they found no wound when you reached the line. That is strange." Aaron gave a small nod. "I had help." The commander narrowed his eyes. "From who?" Aaron hesitated. He knew the truth would not be welcomed. "From someone on the field," he said carefully. The commander studied him for a moment before turning away. "Whatever it was, you are alive. Do not waste it. We move out soon." Aaron saluted and walked on. He had no plans to share Nira's name. If the others knew, they would hunt her down. The Krith assassin was feared across the front lines, and no one would believe she had saved him. Yet he could not stop thinking about her. There had been something in her voice, something almost human in the way she had looked at him. As the day went on, Aaron's strength felt unnatural. He could carry heavy crates with ease and move faster than before. His hands did not tremble, even after hours of work. The medics examined him and found nothing wrong, but he knew this was not normal. Her bite had changed him in a way he could not explain. When night came, Aaron left the camp quietly. He followed the path through the ruins, where he had last seen her. The city was a graveyard of twisted metal and broken walls. Wind whispered through empty buildings, and shadows stretched long under the moonlight. He searched for tracks, but found nothing. Still, something inside pushed him forward. Far to the west, in the remains of an old tower, Nira moved silently. She was tending to her own wounds, wrapping a cut on her arm with a strip of cloth. She had not meant to stay on WarriorPrime, but the bite she had given Aaron weighed on her thoughts. She knew the risk she had taken. If her people learned what she had done, they would brand her a traitor. Worse, the humans might try to use her gift as a weapon. She stepped to the edge of the tower and looked down at the city. Her people would return soon, searching for her. She had to leave before they found her. Yet as she turned to gather her things, she saw movement below. A lone figure was walking through the street, moving with purpose. She recognized the way he carried his blade. Nira stayed in the shadows as he passed, watching him scan the area. He looked tired but determined. She wondered why he was searching for her. Most humans would have fled from her, not sought her out. She decided to follow him silently. Aaron reached a burned-out courtyard where the remains of a fountain stood. He stopped and looked around, his voice low. I know you are here. Nira stepped from the shadows, her yellow eyes catching the moonlight. You are bold to call for me, human. Aaron held his ground. You saved my life. I want to know why. She tilted her head. Does it matter? You live. That is enough. It is not enough for me, he said. I need to understand what you did. Nira studied him for a long moment. She could see the change in his movements, the way his stance was more balanced than before. My bite was not meant to kill you. Not this time. I gave you something rare, something my people do not use. It heals, but it also changes. It will make you faster, stronger. But there is a cost. Aaron's brow furrowed. What cost? Every time I use it, it takes from my own life, she said. That is why I do not give it freely. He felt a weight in her words. Then why me? She looked away toward the distant battlefield. I saw you fight. You did not run, even when defeat was certain. Many warriors fight for orders. You fought for the ones beside you. I chose to save you. Aaron took a step closer. If your people find out, what will they do? Her voice was quiet. They will kill me. Silence hung between them. Aaron knew the risk she carried. Saving him had put her in danger from both sides. He thought of the Krith soldiers hunting, her and of human officers who would use her until she was gone. You should leave this planet, he said. She shook her head. I will. But there is something I must do first. Before he could ask what, a faint sound reached their ears. Metal, scraping against stone. Nira's eyes narrowed. We are not alone. Figures moved in the shadows around the courtyard. Krith hunters, their armor dark and silent, stepped into the open. Their leader raised a hand and pointed at Nira. Alive, the leader said to his warriors. The human is nothing. Kill him. Aaron drew his blade without hesitation. Nira's hands moved to the twin knives at her side. The hunters advanced, their movements quick and precise. Aaron met the first one head-on, his blade striking faster than even he expected. The alien fell, but another replaced it instantly. Nira fought, with smooth, deadly speed, her knives flashing in the moonlight. She moved like water, every motion controlled. Aaron found himself matching her pace, his body reacting with a sharpness he had never known. Together they cut through the hunters, each protecting the other's side. When the last enemy fell, the courtyard was silent again. Aaron's chest rose and fell, but he was not as tired as he should have been. Nira looked at him with a strange expression. You are already changing, she said. Soon you will see more. Aaron wiped his blade. Then I will use it to keep you alive. You saved me. I owe you. She gave a small shake of her head. Owing is dangerous in war, human, but for now we travel the same path. The two of them left the courtyard together, moving into the shadows of the ruined city. Neither spoke, but both knew the hunt for Nira had only just begun. The night air over Vera Prime was cold, and the ruins stretched endlessly in every direction. Aaron and Nira moved quietly along the broken streets, stepping over shattered metal and burnt stone. Their path was uncertain, but they both knew they could not stay in one place for long. The Krith hunters would not give up, and human patrols might attack Nira on sight. The moonlight glinted faintly on Aaron's blade as they walked. His mind was full of questions, but for now, he kept them silent. They stopped only when they reached the remains of an old transport station. Half the roof had collapsed, leaving only a sheltered corner where they could rest. Nira sat with her back against the wall, her knives within easy reach. Her eyes scanned the shadows while Aaron checked his armor. For a moment, neither spoke. Finally, Aaron broke the silence. You said your bite changes people, he began. What exactly does that mean? Nira's gaze shifted toward him. It means your body will not be the same. You will be able to heal faster than most humans. Your reflexes will grow sharper. Your strength will increase. It is not instant, but it will happen. Aaron thought about the way he had fought in the courtyard, moving with speed and precision he had never known. Then why do you not use it on your own people? Her voice grew colder. Because my people see it as weakness. Our leaders believe power comes from fear, not healing. Long ago, a scientist among the Krith changed the venom in my blood. It was meant to save lives, not take them. When the leaders found out, they killed him. I was spared only because they saw my speed and thought I could still serve as an assassin. Aaron's jaw tightened. And you obeyed them? I obeyed to survive, she said, her tone sharp. But the more I saw, the more I knew I could not follow them forever. He understood then why she had saved him. It was not just about the battle. She had chosen to defy the way her people lived. Before they could speak further, a faint clicking sound echoed in the distance. Nira stood instantly. Drones, she said. We must move. They slipped into the shadows, keeping low as small, flying machines swept through the streets. The drones had sharp lights that cut through the darkness, scanning for any movement. Aaron and Nira moved quickly, using the cover of rubble to avoid detection. They reached the far side of the station and followed a narrow street that led deeper into the ruined city. As they moved, Aaron noticed more signs of battle, walls scorched by plasma fire, shattered armor plates, and empty weapon shells. It was a silent reminder of how long this war had burned. By dawn, they found shelter inside the remains of a communication hub. The building's upper floors had collapsed, but the underground level was still intact. Here they could rest without fear of being seen from the air. While Nira searched the rooms, Aaron found an old table and sat down. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from a restless energy running through him. His senses felt sharper, and he could hear faint sounds from the streets above, footsteps, the hum of distant engines. He had never been able to hear so clearly before. Nira returned with a small pack she had found. Inside were dried rations, still sealed. She handed one to Aaron before sitting across from him. You are feeling the change already, she said. He nodded. It is like my body is awake in a way it was not before. It will grow stronger, she said. But you must be careful. If others discover what you can do, they will want it for themselves. Aaron looked at her. Do you mean the humans? She gave a small nod. Both humans and Krith. Healing power in war is more dangerous than any weapon. People will kill to control it. He understood the risk. If word spread, Nira would be hunted more fiercely, and he would become a target as well. Still, he could not ignore the truth. Her gift could save countless lives. As they ate, a sudden metallic thud echoed from above. Nira was on her feet instantly, knives drawn. Aaron followed her lead, blade ready. A faint voice drifted down the stairwell. Human forces. Show yourselves. Aaron's grip tightened. The voice was not Krith. It belonged to a human soldier. Nira stepped back into the shadows, while Aaron moved toward the stairs. At the top, 3 soldiers in human armor stood with rifles aimed down at him. The one in front spoke again. You survived the wall, the soldier said. We heard stories. They say a Krith bit you, but you lived. That is not possible. Aaron kept his expression calm. Stories change in war. The soldier's eyes narrowed. The commander wants you brought in. We have orders to search the area for the alien you were seen with. Nira's hand brushed Aaron's shoulder from the shadows, a silent warning. Aaron met the soldier's stare. There is no alien here. The soldier did not look convinced. We will search anyway. Before they could enter, Nira moved like lightning. She struck the lead soldier with the flat of her blade, knocking, him down without killing him. Aaron disarmed the second before he could fire. The third soldier raised his weapon, but Aaron's speed was faster than the man's aim. In moments, all three were on the ground, unconscious. Nira stepped back, her breathing steady. "They will. Send more. We cannot stay here." Aaron looked down at the soldiers. "They are not our enemy, but they will not stop chasing you." "And now they will chase you as well," she said. They left the communication hub and headed toward the old industrial sector on the far side of the city. The streets here were quiet, filled with rusting machines and half-built structures that had never been completed before the war. This was where Nira planned to hide until she could leave the planet. As they walked, Aaron thought about what she had told him. Her bite could heal, but it came at a cost to her life. If she used it again, she would grow weaker. Yet she had used it on him without hesitation. "Nira," he said, "why take that risk for someone you barely know?" She glanced at him, her yellow eyes unreadable. "Because I believe you will not waste it." They moved on, the sound of their steps the only noise in the empty streets. But above them, somewhere far away, a signal had been sent. The rumor was spreading. There was a human who had survived a Krith bite. And now, both sides wanted him. The sun rose slowly over Vera Prime, casting long shadows across the ruined industrial district. Aaron and Nira had spent the night in the shell of an abandoned factory. The walls were blackened from fire, and the air carried the smell of rust and dust. Outside, the city was waking, not with normal life, but with the movements of soldiers, patrols, and hunters searching for them. Nira was the first to speak as they prepared to move. "The humans will be searching from the east," she said. "The Krith will come from the west. We cannot take the main streets." Aaron tightened the straps on his armor. "Then we go through the narrow routes, the old service tunnels." Nira gave a short nod. "It will be slower, but safer. For a while." They left the factory and slipped into the shadows between the buildings. The streets here were choked with abandoned machines, piles of scrap metal, and broken cargo crates. It was a maze of rust and rubble, and it gave them cover as they moved. Still, Aaron kept glancing behind them, his instincts warning him that eyes were watching. By midday, the faint sound of engines began to grow louder. Nira stopped and raised a hand for silence. They crouched behind a collapsed wall and waited. Moments later, 3 Krith scout bikes sped past, their riders scanning the area with long-barreled rifles. The bikes disappeared around the corner, but the danger remained. "They are close," Aaron whispered. "They are hunting," Nira replied, "and they will not stop." They moved quickly, heading toward a hidden entrance to the old transport tunnels. The entrance was beneath a crumbling storage platform, half buried in rubble. Aaron pushed aside a heavy metal sheet, revealing the dark opening below. They slipped inside and began their descent. The tunnels were narrow, the air heavy with dust. Old cables hung from the ceiling, and the ground was uneven with cracked stone and metal debris. Their footsteps echoed softly as they moved deeper. Here, away from the streets, the noise of the city faded, replaced by the distant drip of water. But their sense of safety did not last. Halfway through the tunnel, Nira stopped suddenly. Her sharp ears had caught a sound. Boots on metal coming from ahead. Aaron drew his blade, and Nira readied her knives. The faint glow of a light appeared in the distance. Shadows moved behind it. It was not Krith. Human soldiers stepped into view, their rifles aimed forward. The one in front called out, "Drop your weapons, both of you!" Aaron stood firm. "We are not your enemies." The soldier's voice was cold. "The alien is, and you are protecting her." Without waiting for an answer, the soldiers advanced. Nira moved first, sliding low and disarming the lead soldier with a swift strike. Aaron blocked a rifle swing with his blade and forced the attacker back. The narrow tunnel made it hard for the soldiers to use their weapons effectively, and within moments, Nira and Aaron had pushed through them. They did not kill. Each soldier was left unconscious on the tunnel floor. But the fight had cost them precious time. They will call for backup, Nira said. We must move faster. They ran through the tunnel until they reached a rusted stairway leading up. The exit opened into an old cargo yard. From here, the city stretched in every direction. The sky was filled with the distant hum of engines, and now both Krith and human forces were closing in. Aaron spotted movement to the south, Krith soldiers, moving in formation, their black armor glinting in the light. To the north, human patrol vehicles were making their way down a wide road. They are closing the trap, Aaron said. Then we break through, Nira replied. They sprinted toward a line of broken shipping containers, using them as cover. Bullets and plasma shots tore through the air as the two forces began firing, not just at them, but at each other. The humans and Krith clashed in the middle of the yard, their fight giving Aaron and Nira a small window to escape. They ran toward the far wall, where an old loading ramp led to a service road. But before they could reach it, a figure dropped down in front of them. A Krith commander, tall and heavily armored, with a long spear in his hands. Nira, the commander said, his voice sharp. You shame your people. Surrender. Nira's eyes narrowed. I am no longer yours to command. The commander struck first, his spear thrusting toward her chest. She deflected the blow with her knives while Aaron moved to her side, swinging his blade in a wide arc. The commander blocked with surprising speed, forcing them back. The fight was brutal. The commander's strength was far greater than that of the hunters they had faced before. His strikes were heavy, and each one rattled Aaron's arms. But Aaron's speed was faster now, his reflexes sharper. He used every opening Nira created, striking hard whenever the commander's guard dropped. Finally, Nira feinted left, drawing the commander's spear away, and Aaron stepped in with a powerful strike that shattered the weapon's shaft. Nira followed with a swift kick that sent the commander crashing to the ground. They did not stay to see if he rose. The sounds of more troops approaching filled the air, and they fled up the ramp to the service road. By the time they reached the outskirts of the industrial sector, the city behind them was a war zone again. Patrols and hunters would regroup soon, and the chase would continue. We cannot keep running like this, Aaron said. I know, Nira replied. There is only one place we can go now. Where? The human command base, she said. If they believe I can be trusted, they will hide us. But if they do not, we will be trapped between two enemies. Aaron looked at her, knowing it was a dangerous plan. Then we make them believe. They set their course for the base, moving through the quiet outskirts. The hunt was far from over, but for the first time, Aaron felt that they were not just running to survive. They were running towards something that might change the war. The road to the human command base was long and dangerous. Aaron and Nira kept to the hills outside the city, avoiding the main roads where patrols moved. The air here was dry, carrying the distant sound of gunfire from battles still raging in the ruins. Each step took them farther from the industrial district, but both knew they were still being tracked. By late afternoon, they reached a ridge that overlooked a stretch of rocky plains. In the distance, the human base stood behind layers of barriers and watchtowers. Soldiers patrolled the perimeter, and vehicles moved between the gates. Reaching it without being seen by the wrong eyes would be difficult. We cannot walk to the gate, Nira said. If they see me, they will shoot before you can speak. Aaron studied the base. There must be another way inside. A supply route. Or an old entrance. They followed the ridge until they found a narrow valley leading toward the southern wall. Along the way, they spotted a half-buried supply tunnel, likely unused for years. Its metal door was rusted but still intact. Aaron forced it open with a loud scrape, and they slipped inside. The tunnel was dark, the air heavy with dust. They moved quietly until they reached a locked hatch. Aaron knocked on it 3 times, then paused. After a moment, the hatch opened, slightly, and a young human soldier peered out. "Who are you?" the soldier asked. "Aaron," he replied, "from the wall at Vera Prime. I need to see the commander." The soldier frowned. "You were reported dead." "I got lucky," Aaron said. "Please, it is important." The soldier hesitated, but finally opened the hatch. As Aaron stepped inside, Nira stayed in the shadows. The soldier's eyes narrowed when he caught sight of her. "She cannot come in," the soldier said. "She is one of them." "She saved my life," Aaron said firmly. "She is the reason I am standing here." The soldier shook his head. "The commander will not allow her inside the secure zone." "Then tell him I will not speak without her," Aaron said. The soldier looked conflicted, but finally led them through the tunnel into a dimly lit storage chamber. From there, they were escorted to the commander's office. The commander, a tall man with gray streaks in his beard, stared at Nira for a long moment before speaking. "You have 30 seconds to explain why you brought a Krith into my base," he said. Aaron stepped forward. "Because she has something that can change the war. She can heal wounds no medic can treat." "I am proof." The commander's eyes narrowed. "You were seen falling at the wall. The report said you should have died." "I would have," Aaron said. "But she bit me. Not to kill, but to heal. My wound closed within minutes. I am faster, stronger. I can fight again." The commander turned his gaze to Nira. "Why save a human?" "Because I no longer serve my leaders," she said. "I have seen enough death. My gift was meant to save life, not end it." The commander leaned back. "Even if that is true, why risk bringing her here?" "Because we discovered something," Aaron said. "The Krith are building a new weapon, a bioweapon. If it is released, it will kill every human on this planet in days." That caught the commander's attention. "Where?" "In their capital," Nira said. "It is nearly complete. Once it is ready, they will use it. I know how to reach it and how to destroy it." The commander's face hardened. "And what do you want from me?" "Passage," Aaron said. "Supplies. We will handle the rest." The commander was silent for a long moment. Finally, he nodded slowly. "You will have what you need. But if she betrays you, I will have every soldier in this base hunting her." "She will not," Aaron said. They left the office with a small pack of supplies, food, water, maps, and ammunition. The plan was set. They would travel to the Krith capital through the old river channels that led under the outer wall. That night, they camped just outside the base. The wind howled softly across the plains, and the sky was full of cold stars. Aaron sat near the small fire, sharpening his blade. Nira sat across from him, her eyes reflecting the firelight. "You are certain about this?" she asked. "The capital is more dangerous than anything we have faced." "I am certain," Aaron said. "If we do nothing, everyone here will die." They studied him for a moment. "You will be hurt before this is over. If that happens, I may need to heal you again. But understand this. Every time I use my bite, my life shortens." Aaron's hand stopped on the blade. "I do not want to cost you your life." "Then stay alive without needing me," she said with a faint smile. The next day, they set out at dawn. Their path took them across dry riverbeds and through jagged canyons. They traveled quickly, avoiding patrols and using the rough terrain to hide their movements. By the 3rd day, they were deep inside Krith territory. Near the ruins of an old outpost, they were ambushed. Krith soldiers emerged from the rocks, their rifles blazing. Aaron fought with speed and precision, but one shot struck him in the side, knocking him down. The pain was sharp and blood began to flow. Nira moved to his side instantly. "Stay still," she said. "No," Aaron gasped. "Save your strength. If you die here, the mission dies with you," she said. She bit his neck quickly, and the heat spread through him once more. His breathing steadied, and the wound began to close. When the fight was over, Aaron rose to his feet, the strength returning faster than before. But Nira's steps were slower now, her face pale. "You should have let me fight through it," he said quietly. "Then you would be dead," she replied simply. "And I would be alone." They moved on in silence, the weight of her sacrifice heavy between them. The Krith capital was still far ahead, but the mission had become more than just survival. It was now a fight to end the weapon that could destroy all human life on Vera Prime. The Krith capital rose before Aaron and Nira like a dark fortress. Towering walls covered with black metal stretched into the sky. Strange machines moved inside, and sharp lights flashed from the highest towers. The city was alive with danger. Aaron looked at Nira. "This is where they keep the weapon?" She nodded. "Deep inside the central complex. The bioweapon is guarded by many soldiers and machines. We must be careful." They waited until nightfall. The city lights dimmed, but the patrols did not stop. Nira led Aaron through narrow alleys and old tunnels hidden beneath the streets. Her knowledge of the city was perfect. She moved silently, and Aaron followed, trusting her completely. The tunnels opened into a large underground chamber filled with pipes and glowing tanks. Aaron could hear the low hum of machines working. This was the heart of the weapon. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Stop! Who goes there?" A group of Krith soldiers appeared, weapons raised. Aaron and Nira froze for a moment. Nira whispered, "Prepare to fight." The soldiers charged. Aaron swung his blade, moving with speed. Nira's knives flashed as she fought beside him. The soldiers were strong, but Aaron's strength and speed surprised them. The fight was fierce, but the two pushed forward. After defeating the soldiers, Aaron and Nira found a control room with screens showing the weapon's status. The bioweapon was a large container filled with a glowing liquid. The display showed it was almost ready to release. Nira studied the controls. "We have little time. I will disable the main system. You cover me." As Nira worked on the controls, the chamber door burst open. More Krith soldiers poured in. Aaron stood in front of Nira, blocking the attackers. His movements were quick and precise, but the soldiers kept coming. In the heat of battle, one soldier grabbed Nira from behind. Aaron saw her struggle but could not reach her in time. The soldier raised a blade to strike. Without thinking, Aaron reached out and bit the soldier's arm hard. A strange heat flowed from his teeth into the Krith. The soldier dropped Nira and screamed in pain before collapsing. Aaron stepped back, surprised at what he had done. The strange power from Nira's bite was now in him. His strength and speed surged again. Nira finished disabling the system. The glowing liquid in the container stopped moving. "We did it," she said, breathing hard. But the fight was not over. More soldiers rushed in from all sides. Aaron and Nira fought side by side, pushing their way to the exit. They knew they had to leave before the alarm brought more enemies. As they reached the surface, Aaron looked back at the dark city. The weapon was destroyed, but the war was far from over. Nira was wounded in the fight, and Aaron knew her time was short. They reached a hidden spot outside the city walls. Nira sank to the ground, breathing heavily. "Your life," Aaron said quietly. "It is fading." Nira smiled weakly. "I gave you my gift. Now you must carry it forward." Aaron knelt beside her. "I will not forget what you did. Your sacrifice will not be in vain." She took his hand. "Remember, human, you are stronger than you know. You will win." With those words, Nira's eyes closed. Aaron sat beside her, feeling the weight of loss and hope together. The fight was not over. It was just the beginning. The first light of dawn touched the horizon as Aron stood over the quiet form of Nira. The cold wind whispered through the ruined land, carrying the weight of her last words. Her gift had changed him, but now she was gone. He felt the deep loss settle in his chest, but also a fire, something stronger than grief. He carefully stood and looked toward the rising sun. The war was not finished. The Krith might have lost their bioweapon, but their armies still roamed Vera Prime, hungry for victory. Aaron had a new purpose now. He would fight for both humans and Krith like Nira had wished. Aaron traveled back to the human command base alone. The journey was long and silent. His body still felt the power Nira's bite had given him. His wounds healed fast, and his senses were sharper. But more than that, he carried her memory in his heart. When he reached the base, commanders and soldiers gathered around, surprised to see him alive. Aaron told them everything, how Nira had saved him, how she had changed him, and how together they had destroyed the Krith's weapon. Some were doubtful, but his strength and scars proved his story true. The commander stepped forward. Your survival and this information give us hope. With your new abilities, you can lead us. Aaron nodded. I will do whatever it takes to end this war. In the following weeks, Aaron trained harder than ever. He taught the soldiers how to fight smarter, using speed and teamwork. His own body pushed beyond human limits, and the soldiers looked to him as a symbol of hope. Word spread across Vera Prime about the human who had survived a Krith bite and lived. Many feared what it meant, but others saw it as a chance for change. Aaron believed that if he could control this power, humans could not only survive, but grow stronger. One day, as the sun set behind the mountains, Aaron stood on a ridge overlooking a vast valley. He thought about Nira and the path she had chosen. She had defied her people to save a human. That choice had changed the future of two worlds. Aaron raised his blade toward the sky, feeling the wind against his face. For you, Nira, he said quietly, I will fight to make this world better. Behind him, the soldiers gathered, ready to follow. They were not just fighting a war now, they were fighting for a new dawn.